The Night I Left the Bar Early. A story brought to you by Drama Spark. Narrated by Brendon. If you've ever gone on a boys' night out, you'll know there are only three types of guys. There's the confident one, the funny one, and the one who claims he isn't looking for anyone, while spending the entire evening fixing his hair every time he walks past a mirror. My friends, we somehow managed to be all three. My name is Brendon. I'm 30 years old, and this is the story of how the least successful night of bar hopping became the best night of my life. It started with a Friday afternoon message. Our group chat was called *Weekend Warriors. Despite the name, none of us had done anything remotely warrior-like in years. Most of us worked office jobs. One was an accountant. Another was an engineer. I worked as a product designer for a technology company. Our biggest weekly adventure was deciding where to eat after work. Then my best friend Ethan sent the message. *Boys. Clark Quay. Tonight. 8 p.m. We're something decent. Within seconds the replies appeared. Who's getting married? Is this another failed wingman mission? Last week's record was 0 phone numbers. Technically, we got one. It belonged to a taxi driver. I couldn't stop laughing. Some traditions never changed. By 8:30 we were on our second bar. Music pounded through the room. People laughed over cocktails. The dance floor was already full. Ryan adjusted his shirt for the 5th time. Confidence, he announced. It's all about confidence. 5 minutes later he walked over to introduce himself to someone. She smiled politely, then pointed to the man standing beside her. Her husband. Ryan returned carrying only his drink. That didn't go according to plan. Ethan burst out laughing. You've still got 4 more bars tonight. I'm pacing myself. The evening became exactly what you'd expect. One friend confidently walked up to someone, only to discover she was waiting for her fiancé. Another spent 20 minutes talking to someone before realizing she worked with his sister. One guy managed to spill his drink all over himself before saying a single word. By 11 o'clock we'd accomplished absolutely nothing, except providing entertainment for everyone else. I told you, Ethan sighed dramatically. We're hopeless. We're getting older. Ryan nodded. We've lost our game. I'm not sure we ever had any. Everyone agreed. Around midnight the music became even louder. I leaned toward Ethan. I need 5 minutes. Bathroom? No. My ears. He laughed. Don't disappear. I won't. I stepped outside into the cool night air. The river reflected the city lights. For the first time all evening, it was quiet. Across the street I noticed a small 24-hour cafe. Warm lights. Fresh coffee. Only a handful of customers. Exactly what I needed. I ordered an iced latte and sat beside the window. That's when I noticed her. She sat alone with a slice of cheesecake and a cup of tea. She looked oddly familiar. She caught me looking. Instead of looking away, she smiled. Were you at Riverside Secondary? I blinked. I was. She laughed. I knew it. It took me another few seconds. Then suddenly, Charmaine? The one and only. I couldn't believe it. We'd been classmates nearly 12 years earlier. Not close friends, but we'd shared enough school projects to remember each other. What are you doing here? My friends dragged me bar hopping. I laughed. Mine too. She pointed toward the busy street outside. I escaped. I did exactly the same thing. For a moment we simply stared at each other. Then both of us burst into laughter. Mind if I join you? I was hoping you'd ask. That first conversation lasted nearly an hour. We talked about school. Teachers we'd never forgotten. Friends we'd lost touch with. The embarrassing hairstyles everyone thought looked fashionable back then. I can't believe you remember that. You wore bright green sneakers every sports day. They were cool. They were unforgettable. There is a difference. She laughed so hard the waitress smiled at us. My phone buzzed. Ethan where are you? I replied. Coffee. Almost immediately. With who? I looked across the table. Charmaine was stirring her tea. I smiled. Old friend. 3 dots appeared. Then one message. We officially forgive you. So, Charmaine asked. What do you do now? I'm a product designer. She smiled. So you're the creative one. I try. What about you? I'm a pediatric physiotherapist. I looked genuinely impressed. That explains something. What? You've always been patient. She smiled softly. I wasn't sure anyone noticed. We ordered another round of drinks, then shared a plate of fries. The cafe slowly emptied. Outside, people continued moving from one bar to another. Inside, time seemed to slow down. You know what's funny? She said. What? If we'd stayed with our friends, we never would have spoken. She nodded. I almost didn't come out tonight. So did I. At 1:30 my phone rang. It was Ethan. Alive? Very. We're getting supper. I'm already eating. He paused. Still with your old friend? Yeah. There was silence. Then, I'm weirdly proud of you. Why? You went bar hopping. You ended up in a cafe. That sounds much more like you. Charmaine smiled. Good friends? The best. She nodded. My girlfriends are probably wondering where I disappeared to. Should we tell them? She laughed. Eventually. Before we left, we exchanged phone numbers. Neither of us made a big deal out of it. It simply felt natural. Like something that was always going to happen. Outside the cafe we stood beside the river. I had fun tonight. So did I. My friends will never believe this. Mine neither. She smiled. I suppose we'll have to meet again. I'd like that. The following weekend became coffee. Coffee became dinner. Dinner became a movie. Then museums. Bookstores. Long walks around Marina Bay. Neither of us was trying to impress the other. We already knew who we were. We simply wanted to know who we'd become. One evening I asked, so, were your friends disappointed you disappeared? She laughed. They spent the entire night looking for me. My friends too. What did they say? They asked if I'd finally learned that bars weren't really my thing. And I told them the bars weren't. She smiled. But the cafe was. Months passed. Charmaine became the first person I wanted to tell whenever something good happened. The first person I called after a difficult day. The one who somehow made ordinary weekends feel like holidays. Eventually she met my friends. Ethan shook her hand. So, you're the reason Brendon abandoned us. Charmaine smiled. I believe he abandoned the noise. Ryan nodded. We'll accept that. As long as you promise to join us for supper after. She laughed. Deal. Her friends welcomed me just as warmly. One of them grinned. We knew she'd disappear that night. You did? She always escapes noisy places. Charmaine looked embarrassed. I like conversations. So do I admitted. Almost a year after we met again, Ethan organized another boys' night. Same place. Same bars. Same jokes. Halfway through the evening he looked at me. Need 5 minutes? I smiled. Actually, I know a cafe nearby. Everyone laughed. Ryan pointed at me. He can't help himself. Nope. We all walked across the street together. As we entered, Charmaine looked up from a corner table. She had been waiting for me after meeting her friends for dinner. She smiled the same smile that had stopped me in my tracks that very first night. There you are. There you are. Ethan looked around the cafe before shaking his head with a grin. You know. What? We've spent years trying to meet girls in bars. And the only successful love story started after someone walked out. Everyone laughed. Looking back now, I think that's the lesson. Sometimes we're so busy chasing excitement that we miss the quiet places where real connections happen. My friends were right. We never got lucky at the bars. But I did get lucky that night. Because I stepped outside for a little peace and quiet. Walked into a small cafe. And found someone who made every night after that feel exactly like coming home. The end. This story is brought to you by Drama Spark and created by Pearl.